We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 49, year 2. Today, we're going to talk about the NFL season, up and coming, including a special guest that will be talking about sports bet. His name is Kevin Todd. Also, we are going to be talking about what's going on in the world of politics, our loss of Mike Sexton, which, as you know, is a very devastating loss. And so we're going to have, what is it? All right. Anyways, I don't know how that came up. Anyways, another Mike Sexton tribute. We're going to have Richie Scalaron on, who is one of Mike's best friends, if not his best friend. So stay tuned. The Mouthpiece is next. What's up? That was a little fucked up intro because I'm fucked up. That's why. How y'all doing today? Episode 49. The start of the football season is upon us. And today we're going to have a special guest. He basically does football for a living. We are going to debate a couple games together. We're going to have Richie Scalaron, one of Mike Sexton's best friends. He's going to give us some stories about Mike. He's probably one of the most devastated from the loss of Mike. And also we're going to talk about how, the poker world reached out to Mike Sexton in an amazing tribute on our podcast last week. So that's what we're going to do today. It's been a tough week, we all, a lot of you out there didn't know that Mike was really terminally ill. We tried to show him how much we cared last week. We tried to show him support. But I was told by the family and people close to him that he only had a few days to live. And there was really nothing they could do. And we had to somewhat, because his 12-year-old son, really didn't really know the magnitude of it. So we had to really try and give a positive outlook. So many messages from the family to me for what they felt was a great thing I did. I didn't do it for me. I did it for poker, for the people who care about Mike. I had no idea how it was going to come off. I wanted to do something special because of the fact that I saw these texts like poker Twitter. Oh, if I could just talk to Mike one more time. Oh, if I could just say what I felt one more time. And I put together something and I started texting people I know and calling people I know. And the next thing you know, we had all those people that came in to pour out their hearts for Mike. And there's really nothing we can do. There's really nothing we can do. But they told me. I mean, they emailed me that it was kind of like a send off. It was the outpouring of love that Mike received that day. People close to him, his family, said they will never forget. So I want to say kudos to everybody who called in, zoomed in on the podcast.
We had 45 people come on to say things about Sexton.
Wow, 45 people. Thank you, computer. So 45 people that came on to say something nice about Mike. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And that's a last second thing. None of us knew he was sick. He kind of hid it from everybody for months. And to get 45 people to come on and our podcast going pretty much going viral worldwide. Last I saw, we had close to 50,000 views. That was like 4 days ago. Computer, how many we got now? Probably 100,000. I mean, who knows? So before it's over, hopefully 1 million people will watch it. And I'm very, very humbled by the poker community and how they reached out. A lot of people have been contacting me about wanting to say their goodbyes and funeral services and whatnot. I'm waiting to hear back. I am in contact with the family, and as soon as I hear something, I'll let you know. With COVID though, and things like that, like when my father passed away in April, I mean, we had 6 people at the funeral. I don't know how many they're going to allow, whether they'll have just a private for the family, and then maybe a public get together to celebrate his life. So we'll see what happens. I'll let you know. So let's try and pivot a little bit off that a little bit and say thank you to the poker community. Thank you to everybody who called in. Thank you for all of you who truly understood what Mike meant to all of us. But listen, let's move forward a little bit to this week. Now, talk a little bit of sports. I guess we could talk about Vegas Golden Knights tying the series up 1 game apiece last night. That was good. I really haven't followed much the NBA. I do not like political statements in my sports. So if I want to watch politics, I can watch Fox News or CNN. So I'm one of those people that is not happy with political statements, against our president, against things that are false, like police are murdering Black people, which is a lie. 13 unarmed Black people were killed last year. 13, 8 this year. 11 were justified of the 13. To put that in perspective, 43 people were struck by lightning and killed last year. So you're more than 3 times more likely to be struck by lightning and killed than unarmed Black people killed by a police officer in America, in the United States. Yet the left is pushing this false narrative. The NBA is pushing this false narrative for political gain. And it is what it is. The numbers don't lie. You got people who are on the left. They always want to talk about the science and the numbers, but when you show them the numbers, they want to push a different agenda, and it's just not right. People say, "Oh, Mike, you're a racist." No, I care about Black people. I care about every people, every walk, color, creed. But every 4 years, the media divides people based on race, skin color, to get people out to vote. And I don't want a part of it. I just don't. And the right does the same. I mean, if you don't think that Trump is stoking fear with the working white people of America for political gain, then you're just a moron yourself. You could say, well, the left is doing it with making up false accusations to get the Blacks out to vote, which they are. And we have data to prove that. With Trump saying they're coming to the suburbs, they're coming for you. I think that's fear mongering to get white people out to vote. But then they prove him right by attacking people in Pittsburgh, attacking people. The Portland riots have gone out for 107 days. The looting, the attacking going on in New York, Chicago, all these big cities. So, if I was somebody who was anti-Trump, I would be out there pushing to stop these protests of something that's not true and stop the rioting and looting, or they're going to get Trump reelected. So it is what it is. I don't really want to talk much politics, but it's kind of like why I'm not really watching much of the NBA right now. I don't want to watch politics in my sports. The NFL season is upon us, and we are going to have a weekly segment with a person that we are working with. His name is Kevin Todd. He is a sports tout person. He's documented very good. You can look him up. And we are going to debate a couple games a week. As you know, I have my pick of the week every week. Last year, we didn't do so well. This year, we are going to have my pick of the week segments, as well as call-in segments, as well as a special guest. So that's what's going on here. Today, we are going to have Kevin Todd on, and then we are going to have a Richie Scalaron come on. I'm not quite sure what order we're going to do that. Computer, what order will that be in? Computer. I'm not quite sure what order that's
Kevin Todd soon.
Okay, so Kevin Todd's going to come on first. We're going to have the football segment, as well as my pick of the week. And then we're going to have Richie Scalaron on. He's going to talk Mike Sexton's stories. As you know, last week he came on twice during the tribute that we did. But he was so emotionally down about the situation, he wasn't really able to come on. This week he'll be able to hopefully keep it together, tell a lot of good stories about Mike, and then we're going to get our call-in segment. So I think that's pretty much about it. WSOP online is over, thank God. Unfortunately, it sucked that I wasn't able to play it. I wasn't able to travel to Cabo because of my health situations. And, even though the coronavirus is really not that bad, I think yesterday the entire country had 230 deaths. They always like to say, oh, it's Trump's fault. People are dying. It's Trump's fault. You guys understand that 200,000 people a month die in the country. Okay. You know what I mean? People die every day, like 6,000, 7,000 people die every day. It's just part of life. The coronavirus is now another part of life. Life has to move forward. We need to be careful. We need to try and stop the spread or whatever until there's a vaccine. But what they're doing in New York and California, still not opening restaurants, still don't let you go to the beaches in some places, still don't let you have gatherings at your house. It's just ridiculous. We live in a free country. You should be able to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? This is just communist 101. So don't get me started on that. For me personally, it's not a big deal because of my health problems that I've dealt with for years. I never really leave the house anyways. So all the coronavirus lockdowns did for me was make me a lot of money and get me on my feet, because I was able to play in a really good private game with Helmuth and a bunch of his friends. So, coronavirus has been great for me. Instead of me having to go to the poker room and be in pain whenever I went to go play, I was able to just play at home every day and do well. So, as bad as 2020 has been for most people, it's been the best year of my life since 2013. Now, turn to another subject. About 3 years ago, I started smoking pot, take about 2 hits a day, late at night, around 2 a.m, sometimes 4 if I couldn't sleep. And I did it for, I started taking it in 2017 World Series, so 2018, 2019. Yeah, almost 3 years ago. And not one day went by that I didn't smoke any. And the one thing I learned about smoking pot is you got to get the right strain. If you get the wrong strain, it's a disaster. And I was able, I was in and out of different strains and whatever, but I finally found one that had me playing poker good, that had me mentally, together. And I used that for about 3.5 months. And that's what I did really well playing online. And then when I ran out and I tried to get that strain again, I couldn't get it. Got different strains. It mentally whacked me out. I got where I was really like suicidally depressed for about 13 days straight for 3-4 hours a day. It was debilitating. And luckily for me that I knew that it's a chemical imbalance that was causing it. And so I quit smoking pot 13 days ago. And the entire 13 days, I've had zero depression, zero suicidal thoughts, and I've been really happy. So I do have an appointment with my psychiatrist tomorrow, a new one, and hopefully they'll level me out where I don't have to go through that ever again. It was really debilitating. So, I like to, I kind of share that with people because people don't know what I go through. And but when I did stop smoking the pot, my pain levels just went through the roof, and I've been in debilitating pain the last 10 days, like really bad. This morning it was so bad that I literally took a hit of pot, hoping it would help it, and all it did is mentally fuck me up. So I woke up depressed as can be, didn't sleep much, the pain's all still there. That was a bad idea, so won't be doing that again. Talked to my doctor just now, my pain doctor, and he said that because of the systems that have been coming through, the heat, the cooler, hot, the barometric pressure has been going up and down, that all of his patients have been struggling with pain. So something I have to deal with, something I deal with my whole life. And anyways, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do our football segment coming up, where I'm going to give you a couple picks of the week, and my man Kevin Todd's going to come on. He's going to tell me if he agrees with me or disagrees with me. And
Kevin Todd is on Mikey.
Kevin, welcome to the Mouthpiece, my friend.
How are you, Mike? Wow, you shaved your head.
Yeah, I'm looking like you. Look at you.
I've been like this for like 15 years now.
Really? I've been like this for, let's see. COVID started in March. It was growing my hair like crazy. I'm like, it was thinning up top. I'm like, I used to talk to my hairdresser about, well, I kept the beard. I could color it to look younger. I'm like, maybe I'll just shave my head. And I did it. And everybody's like, wow, I love it, Mike. You look good. You look so much younger. So I stuck with it.
I agree. It looks better on you.
So everyone here, listen to the Mouthpiece. This is Kevin Todd. He's a pretty well-known handicapper, sports tout. He's done really well. And we're going to debate every week, hopefully for the entire football season, about my picks of the week. And as you all know, I'm not the greatest sports bettor in the world or a handicapper. So I did pick out a couple games that I kind of like this week, and I'm going to see what he thinks. So how you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing good, Mikey.
So I was running down today, and I was looking down there, and I decided that I was going to come out with my 2 picks of the week, and then I narrow it down and come up with one, which is what I did every week last year. And my 2 picks of the week, as I was looking at the lines, is Washington +6 as a conference home dog in week 1, and Miami +6.5. Again, a divisional opponent with so many new pieces for New England. Those are my 2 picks. How do you see them?
You know what? I hate to say it, Mike, but I agree with both your selections there. I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day, and I said,
"Wow, It
I
feels
kind of
good.
like Washington plus the points at home dog opening week. And like you said with Miami, I mean, New England's lost a lot of talent this year.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, you would think that team is looking to tank. Miami still has Fitzpatrick. If you remember, they already beat them last year in New England. I also believe they beat him at home last year. They beat them twice.
No, they got crushed. They got crushed by 40 in week 1.
Okay,
and they came back. Yeah,
last game of the season they beat.
Correct. In a must-win game, which would have got them home field advantage. So
that is correct.
And they're loaded. You know they have the best draft of like any other team. And the coach showed me last year with, I think they won 5 or 6 games when at one point they were 0-5 with a minus 200 point differential. So yeah, those are my picks for the weekend. That's why it's good to hear you say that you like them.
I do like them. Let me give you 2 selections that I came up with. You might agree with me too. One of my selections came up with is I came up with Atlanta in the NFL plus the 2. I know everybody's out there betting Seattle, where basically Atlanta was favored at home. Now the line is switched to where Atlanta is now getting 2 points. But let me tell you, Mike, Seattle has lost their last 4 out of 5 openers in week 1. And plus the fact that Atlanta at home as a dog, the last 6 times, they're 5-1 against the spread. I'm going to take Atlanta at home plus the 2 to win the game outright. What do you think about that?
Well, as crazy as this sounds, this is really, I mean, I'm not a professional. Matter of fact, people could go on the fence and say I'm probably one of the worst sports bettors of all time. But Atlanta was my 3rd choice today. I did because I have me and Phil Hellmuth, we talk and we do futures every year. We usually put 2 or 3 futures together. And we could talk about that here also in this opening week about futures, what you might like. And I told him that I have Atlanta as my 2nd pick to go to the Super Bowl. He thinks I'm crazy. He says, I hate the coach. I say, I hate the coach too. I said, but this team was 1-7 last year. The coach was 100% guaranteed to be fired. And they will go on to win 6 of the last 7 games, including beating 3 of the 4 teams that went to the Final 4 last year or something like that, or 3 that were deep in the playoffs.
I believe the last game of the season.
Yes. And so I look at that.
On the last play, nonetheless.
Right. And so I said to myself, this team is loaded. Ryan is the real deal. I think that they struggled. They struggled to adjust from the coaching changes and all the different pieces they put in. I like Atlanta a lot this year.
I like it too.
And what is your other pick?
My other pick that I have, Mike, I'm going to go to college football. We're going to go to Saturday. This is a game where people don't really know, Mike, but let me tell you right now, I'm picking North Carolina to make it to the football playoff this year. They are bringing back 10 starters on offense. This team is loaded. Remember, they got Mac Brown as the coach. They're playing Syracuse at home. The line opened up at 20. It's now up to 22.5. The total opened up at 63. The Sharps have now jumped it all the way up to 65.5. You know what, Mike? I agree with them. I'm going to take the over in this game. I think the total in this game will be close to being over, but at halftime, I should say, but more than likely will be over going into the 4th quarter. Let me tell you right here, they are 9-4-1 over the total in conference play at home, North Carolina. North Carolina is also 5-2 their last 7 over the total. And also they got back the quarterback for Syracuse, which is Danny DeVito. And that team, the last 4 times they've played dating back to last season, Mike, has gone over the total too. I look for this game to be in the 40s at halftime and be over going into the 4th quarter. So those are my 2 plays, Atlanta plus the 2 and North Carolina, Syracuse over the total of 65.5. Wow.
See, now that's good to hear. I don't really pay much attention to college football. I used to, and I used to bet. But I'm a sick fuck, and I'd find myself betting the early games, getting stuck, betting the middle games, getting stuck, betting the late games, trying to bail out. And yes, it's undocumented that I've lost $6.8 million betting sports in my lifetime. So being able to get away from it has been good for me. But somebody like you who does it for a living, I think that you're somebody
I've lost once.
There you go.
Let me tell you what, maybe you can agree with me, Mike, but the public does. the public bases their selection on how teams played the previous week.
Absolutely.
The odds makers know that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I find where the value is, because let me tell you, when it comes to the NFL football, these odds makers know, and they get that number pretty much close to perfect each and every week because the games are on TV.
Right.
If it wasn't for COVID, Mike, on a college football Saturday, there's over 50 games. The odds makers concentrate on those TV games because they know the public wants to see their money go up in smoke.
Right.
I find the obscure games where the odds makers are off, and that's how I make my money for my clients, Mike. And let me tell you right now, I'm going to be on your podcast for weeks to come. I want to give out my website. I want to give out my phone number. Everybody who calls me right now from your podcast, I'm going to give them my Thursday night NFL game absolutely free, the game between Houston and Kansas City. My phone number is 888-320-7517. My website's thesportsbrokers.com. You can go on my website. You can opt in, put your name and number. One of my reps will call you back. I'm going to give your clients all the information they need to win on Thursday night. I want to earn their business. And I have a motto, Mike. I turn outcomes into incomes.
Good. That sounds great. Now, yeah, make sure, for people that didn't get that, he's going to repeat that number and his website before we get off here. And also, I want people to know that the people that do come to your website, let them know that they heard it here on the Mouthpiece podcast. So let's go away a little bit. What are your I'm going to go with just not to change subject a little bit. Over unders on the NFL season. Me and Phil Hellmuth, we picked 3.
Okay.
I picked he picked 2, I picked 2. I like Miami over. I like
What's the total? What's the total number on that?
The total is 6.5. Okay. And I liked Baltimore as a very big number, over 11.5. Now that's a tough number because if the quarterback gets injured, you don't want to go with that big number. I think Baltimore's loaded. I think they're pissed the way they went down last year. I think they were the best team in football last year, and I think they're on a mission. They have a very easy schedule. I picked Baltimore over. I picked Miami. Phil Hellmuth went with Tampa Bay. He's all in on Tampa Bay with.
Are you crazy, Phil?
With Brady. I kind of agree because of the fact that they won 7 games with Winston throwing 30 interceptions, giving away at least 5 games last year. You bring in Gronk and Brady to cut down the interceptions. You have the best tight end that ever lived, I think, in Gronk.
I agree.
I kind of think he's right on the over.
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, I kind of think he's
What
right
was
on
the
the
total
over.
to that?
It's 9. Now,
Okay, you want to hear this stat, Mike?
Yeah.
Ever since Tom Brady became the quarterback for New England,
Mhm.
and he finished a complete season, he's never once lost more than 10 games. Did you know that?
you mean one less than 10 games?
One less than 10 games. Correct.
Yes, I do know that, and that was part of our pick. So it was, I think it's 9.5. I think it's up to now. So I just don't see them not winning 10 games. I told Phil I really believe the Saints are on the downward spiral. You saw Drew Brees struggle immensely in the playoffs in the last 3 weeks of the season. I look at Atlanta as your pick this week, and Tampa Bay to be the top of that division, and the Saints to be between 7-9, 8-8, and Carolina coming up the rear in a rebuilding year. So that's his pick. And his other pick, the other pick we have is, oh no, we went away with that because the number went away. We originally were on Arizona over 6.5. The line went to 7.
I like that.
And I still believe they're going to win 8 games. They have a very weak schedule. And I really love the acquisition of DeAndre Hopkins. They just signed him for $54 million, 2 years yesterday. You pair him up with that dynamic quarterback who, I'm going to be honest, I never thought he was going to be, because he's so small, as good as he was last year. He carried that team to, I think it was 5 wins last year. I really think that they're going to be that
I
they're going to
agree
win.
with you there. Now that they got DeAndre Hopkins, remember they still have Larry Fitzgerald, who's a great wide receiver.
Right, he really
So,
is.
You would figure that they're going to double cover DeAndre Hopkins, but they're all, and now it's going to leave one-on-one for Fitzgerald. And let me tell you, I've met Patrick Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, the wide receiver.
Yeah,
He is a big guy.
Larry
It's
Fitzgerald.
very hard to cover Larry Fitzgerald one-on-one. I like that matchup. I like the over 6.5. I would listen. Week 1, they're playing San Francisco. Don't be surprised if they beat them outright.
They beat them. They split with them last year and almost won both games. You know, I know that. And no, Arizona, that offense is going to be a juggernaut. Now, will they have enough defense to compete? I'm not quite sure, but they're going to be a fun team to watch. You know, so
They will up at home.
Okay, so that's great. So this week, you know, we're going to be working together every week. We're going to have we're going to do a little bit longer segment this week, so people get to know you a little bit and talk a little bit about the opening week. We both agree. So my pick of the week is I've been debating. You said you like both of them. Now I have to decide because I give out my one pick of the week whether I want to go with Washington or Miami, and I'm going to take Washington as my pick of the week +6 as my one pick.
I gave you 2 picks, and if I had to pick one game for the pick of the week, I like the over the total 65.5 in Syracuse and North Carolina. That would be mine.
Okay.
But like I said, I like Atlanta as well. And Mike, like I told you before, everybody who's listening to your podcast, everyone who downloads it, and they want to get some strong information and they want to treat this as a business because, Mike, I'm not here to gamble. If you want to gamble, let them gamble on your own. When it comes to gambling, you must agree with me where less is more.
Yes.
I get great information on games. None of the games are rigged. What I mean by information, I mean by where the wise guys are betting because these professional guys make a living do it. And believe it or not, you only have to win 52% when you're gambling in sports to make money. I can help them do that. They can call me at 888-320-7517. I want to earn their business. They will get my Thursday night NFL selection absolutely free. They can follow me on Twitter at Kevin Todd Sports, Mike, where I give out a free play each day on Saturday and Sunday and sometimes on Monday. I also post my tickets on there, Mike. You could go back and look. I bet over $50,000 on football games and win or lose, and I post them right on there. So, folks, give me the opportunity. I'm here. I'm going to earn your business.
Yeah, sounds good. And listen, I wouldn't have somebody on there that I didn't look into before I had you come on my show. I know you're reputable. I know there's a lot of sick fucks out there that love that bet sports, that always lose betting sports. I think if you check out the sports brokers, it is correct.
That's correct. TheSportsBrokers.com.
TheSportsBrokers.com. And check out Kevin Todd's picks of the weeks. And I think a lot of you out there listening to the show will make money. So
let me ask you another question, Mike. A lot of people tell me, oh, I only gamble for fun. But is it more fun when you win or is it more fun when you lose?
Well, it's more fun when you win, but it's pretty well documented. If you're a sick fuck, you get just as big a rush out of winning as losing. Now, I don't know how that is, but somehow it is that. But I'm a winner, bro. I like winning. I hate losing. Nobody hates fucking losing more than I do. I mean, I'm playing a $1-2 no limit game last night. I lost $80 in a fucking pot, and I threw shit against the wall. That's how much I hate losing. So, you know,
I saw your videos. You are a sore loser.
Yeah. So if you guys are out there and you like betting some NFL, college football, check out Kevin Todd with the Sports Brokers. Repeat that number one more time, Kevin.
888-320-7517. I treat this as a business, folks, and I turn outcomes into incomes.
All right, my man. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. See how I did on my pick of the week. See how you did on your picks of the week, including your over with the Syracuse game, and hopefully we'll have a winning week. And we'll get in touch next week and do it again.
I'm even going to do one better, Mike. Each week you pick a game, I pick a game. If you beat me at the end of the year, I'm going to donate $1,000 to charity of your choice.
Sounds good. And if I beat you, which I don't even think is possible, I'm going to fucking make it 2,000 because the fact that I might even make it more because I never win. But if I outdo you, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to end up getting fired, man, because there's no chance of that because I'm the worst. So I wish you the best. I wish your company the best. And let's pick some winners this week, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Mike. And I'll speak to you next Wednesday.
You got it, my man. All right.
Take care.
All right. Peace. So that was Kevin Todd with Sports Brokers. He's going to be coming on weekly. He's got a wonderful service where you can call into him and pick winners. I think he's a very reputable company. I don't think he's a bullshitter. We've talked a lot over the last couple of weeks, and getting him on, I think, is something that will help a lot of you sick fucks that do bet sports possibly make yourself, well, I'm not even possibly, I really convinced will make yourself money betting on some NFL and college football, because following me is normally not a winning proposition. It's really weird. So last year on my picks of the weeks, I think I went something like 6-11 or 7-10. No, I think it was 6-11, which is so unusual for me. Usually in sports, I ended up 15 games over 500 last year, going 5 games under 500 as my 10-star picks of the week with a pick'em contest I'm in that you go 10 for your best, 9 for your second best, 8 for your third best. And it's the reason why I finished in the middle of the pack and still finished 15 games over 500, which would have been about a break-even year in football for me, which for me is would be amazing, breaking even. But normally on my picks of the week, I do really well. Like my top picks, like over every year, I've always been like 70, 80% on my top picks. And then I pick on all the rest of them because I was a sick fuck around 20 or 30%. Last year, I went 6-11 on my top picks and ended up going 20 games over 500 on all the rest of them. So it was really an anomaly and a really strange year. I think a lot of the reasons why is I kept going against Baltimore. I did not believe in the quarterback of Baltimore, and I just didn't think he could throw. His adjustments from year one to year two were so amazing that now I'm on Baltimore going over the total of 11.5. So I gave out my 3 picks. So in the futures, me and Phil decided, and it's really interesting that Kevin liked both of my picks this week. Miami plus the 6.5 on the road at New England, and Washington getting 6 at home. I think Washington, they had a lot of injuries last year. People don't realize that this team was 6-2 before they had all the injuries. And then they struggled and didn't win another game, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that. But I think they got a lot of good pieces in place there. They got rid of the coach. I didn't think much of the coach. It's the division game, week 1 at home. 6 points is too much. Philadelphia is not loaded. The quarterback's great. I see a Philadelphia team that's 8-8. And I like Atlanta. I actually I think the winner of that division, Atlanta or Tampa Bay, is going to the Super Bowl in the NFL. So that is my prediction. I'm not quite sure which way to go. I know that every great quarterback that's ever switched teams late in his career, you look back at Montana, you look back at got so many of them. I'm a little bit blank right now, but their first year at the new team, they've gotten their team. Montana got them to the AFC Championship game. Brett Favre, if you don't remember, got the Jets to the playoffs, and then the following year got Minnesota to the NFC Championship game. So I think Tampa Bay is loaded. I think they're going to be there. I think San Francisco, healthy, is great, but teams don't go back to Super Bowls. I mean, if you look at over the years, the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, at least one of them never even makes it to the playoffs almost every year. I think like 8 out of the last 10. So I don't see that happening with Kansas City. I think Patrick Mahomes I'll say it on air. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. And I love to say future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes. He's been in the league 2 years. If he stays injury-free, I mean, this team will challenge for a championship every year. So I can't count Kansas City out. But Lamar Jackson for Baltimore, he is they said coming out that he was the wild card, that if he could learn to read defense and throw the ball, that this guy would be something special. I think he's done that. I think he is something special, and he's just unstoppable. Even when they lost last year, he put up 500 yards of offense, made 2 mistakes that cost them the game. I think they're hungry. I think they win 12 games. Don't be surprised if they go 14-2 or 15-1. I love the Baltimore Ravens. Two-face. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, Atlanta. I don't know. I'm going to go out of my way. It's going to be one of those two. Tampa Bay or Atlanta versus Baltimore, and the Super Bowl is my pick. So, anyways, check out Kevin Todd with Sports Brokers. He gave you his number. Check it out. All right. So now we are going to go to another segment of the week. We are going to bring
Let's do phone calls, Mikey.
Okay, let's bring phone calls on. Did you tweet out the live phone numbers? Let's do that. And let's get some live phone calls in, what they think of the upcoming football season. Let's try not to talk politics. I know today people are like, Trump knew and he didn't, and he hid it from everybody. Well, of course he did. He had to fucking stop the panic. I mean, can you imagine Trump? We have a coronavirus coming, everybody. Everybody, we're going to be put indoors for 2 months. Oh, my God, the panic in the street. If you thought trying to get toilet paper was hard, just imagine the rush on the fucking grocery stores that would have been. So all those imbeciles that are saying, Trump murdered people, Trump knew, and he didn't tell everybody.
Wrong.
It's a joke.
Wrong.
Just a fucking joke, man. I mean, he did what he's supposed to do, not put people into panic. Did he play it down a little more than he should have? Maybe. I don't believe that. I believe he did what a leader should have done by playing it down. If you're a leader, don't get me wrong. I don't think Trump's a good leader. So it's one of my biggest flaws I have with him.
You are fake news.
When it comes to this, I think he did the right thing. I said it in March. I said it in April. If you go back on my podcast, I said, listen, we cannot have a widespread panic, okay? We cannot have a widespread panic. And you saw just the panic. Look, I had the one video up of the lady that gave the one guy a blowjob for a roll of toilet paper. He's like, if you give me a blowjob, I'll for a roll of toilet paper, she was saying. So, I mean, can you imagine the panic if Trump would have said, the virus is coming, there's nothing we can do to prepare for it. I mean, look at the leaders. You got Pelosi on the 29th of February. Come to Chinatown, there's nothing to worry about. March 12th, you had de Blasio. Come to New York City, we have nothing to worry about, okay? Every one of them knew. They've all been more informed what was coming, okay? They did the exact same thing to stop the panic. You can hate Trump. You can hate his policies. You can hate everything about him. I have no problem with that. That's your opinion, okay? But to say that Trump murdered people and it's his fault, the coronavirus, that's all politics being talking by left-wing talking points, okay? It's an election year. Everybody's trying to discredit everybody. It's disgusting. It's awful. I hate both sides. I'm going to try my hardest to stay away from it. I'm still a Trump supporter. I'm going to stay through it. That's my opinion. I don't think that a guy who's been in office for 49 years and has done nothing for this country is going to automatically come in and miraculously turn things around. These are lifelong politicians. They wanted Kamala Harris as their person. They wanted her originally to be president, and now they're trying to do a coup to make her president. I think she's evil. I hate her. That's why I'm sticking with Trump. That's my opinion. I'm not forcing that on anybody else. I respect everyone else's opinion. People take their politics too seriously. Listen, if Biden wins, it's not going to be the end of the world. Those are just talking points. If Trump wins, it's not going to be the end of the world. Those are talking points. Everyone needs to bring the temperature down a little
Let's
bit.
do phone calls, Mikey.
So we have some phone calls come in. Let's hear our first phone call, sir.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live.
Okay. Let's light up the lines. Who do we have on the phone? Let's call in 702-329-0480. 702-329-0480. We can talk about Mike Sexton, losing Mike Sexton in the poker world. We could talk about football. We could talk about politics. We could talk about, which I really don't want to, by the way. We can talk about anything you want, you know. Call me. Let's see what we have coming in. It is around 4:30. It is a Wednesday. I don't know how many people are out there that are listening right now to the podcast. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear some phone calls. And that's about it. Oh, there's one. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. How you doing? Matt from Pennsylvania.
Matt from Pennsylvania. How's it going, my man, Matt?
Very good, sir. Very good. I just got a couple things I want to touch on. The first thing I'd like to touch on is I really, really enjoyed what you did for Mike last week with the getting everybody on there to speak to Mike directly, and he got to hear all that. I mean, you can't. I mean, if most people in their lifetimes won't get a beautiful send off like that. That was just absolutely phenomenal that you did that, and you allowed people to come on your platform and watch all the poker pros give their final respects to Mike. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and we didn't know how it was going to work. I just, I heard Mike was sick. I heard it was terminal. I said to I started watching, people tweeting like, I wish I could say something to Mike. I wish I could say something. And I just said, let's do the podcast. Let's see who comes on. Let's try something. I set up this tribute. Honestly, we had no idea what to expect. And I wanted everybody to make sure that it wasn't anything about me. Matter of fact, I went out of the way to do something I've never done on any of my podcasts or any of my videos. I demonetized it completely because I didn't want anybody out there to think that I was making any money off that podcast. I wanted it to be only about Mike, and it ended up being special. It ended up being great. I'm proud of myself for putting it together. I'm proud of the poker world. I was very touched by so many people from so many parts of poker, from old school to middle school to new school poker players that were able to come on and share their thoughts with Mike. And he got to hear them all,
Well, like for me, like I'm not really an emotional guy or anything by long stuff, but most people when they're in hospice and they know that they don't got long, might have a couple family members there. Some people who don't have big families might only have one person. Maybe some people might not have any. I mean, the fact that he was loved by so many and got the opportunity to both see and listen to some of his old friends from throughout the years and all the people that he inspired. I mean, what a beautiful send off. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, they said that he had a smile on his face, and most people, like I said, will never have a send off like that. Well, all that love, and it was amazing to me. And me personally, I mean, I don't know how this would happen, but I think all the pros should get together and tell the World Series of Poker next year to bring back the Tournament of Champions and name it after Mike Sexton. Mike Sexton Tournament of Champions, and they should run it every year.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to get them to bring this Tournament of Champion back for a long time. Matter of fact, my thoughts, Daniel had tweeted out about, the original Tournament of Champions was Omaha 8, hold'em, limit hold'em, and stud. And then the final was no limit hold'em. And that's how it was. And we, we'd like to bring back. I've been trying to get this with the World Series of Poker for years. Is everybody who wins a bracelet in, let's just say, 2021, okay, from whatever game it is, okay,
plays in the tournament.
You put it in a tournament. It's a mixed game tournament, so they get to pick the game that they won a bracelet in, and that game gets played. So if you got a random table, okay, see, there's a lot of people that don't know how to play anything but no limit, but this is a tournament of champions. So everybody whose best game that they won, whether it's deuce to 7, triple draw, Omaha 8, stud 8, whatever, okay, that bracelet will be in the mix of games to play. And most are no limit hold'em. So you're going to have probably out of 8 people at a table, you're going to probably have 6 no limit hold'ems, maybe 5. Okay. But those people that play no limit hold'em will have to play mixed games during that time. And then whoever advances to the finals will be televised as the Tournament of Champions. Let's just say there's 90 bracelets given away. That means 90 people get to enter that tournament that year. Okay. And
I will say this though, Mike,
and they
because
put up
you know how TV is, and you know how ratings go,
right?
When it comes to this kind of stuff, I would put a caveat that you either can make the tournament via winning a bracelet that year, and or you must have a minimum of 3 World Series of Poker bracelets or more to enter if you do not win a bracelet that year. That way you get some named players in the mix.
That's it. That was my. I'm exactly the same way. Now, I didn't want to say it because I didn't want people to say, "Oh, you just want to do it so because you got 4 bracelets and you're so you could be in every year." But no. I'm telling you as a poker fan, I'm not going to watch a bunch of nobodies that I don't enjoy watching. I have no idea. Yeah,
I want to see the poker brat and the mouth get at it on the table.
I agree with your thought process. You want Helmuth, me, Daniels, Ivies. You want them because we're not going to win a bracelet every year. So you put in if you won 3 bracelets or more, you're in the Tournament of Champions. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Mike, just as we're talking about the Tournament of Champions, I was watching an episode the other day, the one where you were at, not the one that you won, but the following year where it was you, Daniel, and Mike, the last 3 at the table. And one thing I think you should bring back, I don't even know if you still have it, but that cool gold chain you wore around your neck. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, I got fat, so I couldn't fit it around my neck. I actually want to. I need to get a new chain. I want to put it on. I still have it.
Then you got to bring back the dark sunglasses too. The old school Mike the Mouth.
Oh yeah. I got the new look, with the shaved head, the beard. I'm back, brother. I've been playing at a real high level now. All of a sudden, I've been dealing with severe pain the last 10 to 13 days since I quit smoking pot. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. So I just got to throw my doctor. He's giving me some another steroid. I deal with severe. I have an injury that I really have kept pretty much to myself. I mean, I've been public about it, but nobody really understands the severity of my injury. It's really took my life away. Lucky for me, they did put a spinal cord stimulator in a year and a half ago, which has allowed me to function at least. But for 3.5 years, I was bedridden. So, when COVID came, my joke was, now everybody gets to deal with what I've had to deal with 3.5 years and not leaving the house every day and just be stuck in the house. So, I was used to it, so it was kind of easier on me. But I had plenty of days of depression during COVID. I'm talking about it.
You know what, though, Mike? I'll tell you what. Most people in their life would be happy to. I mean, the fact that you have the popularity you have the podcast. You're a phenomenal poker player and a name poker player. I mean, you got nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm telling you, I want to see the old school, in your face Mike the Mouth in 2021 at the World Series of Poker. Don't let anybody mess with you and show them that mouth if you have to, because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it's crazy. You know, COVID's been great for me. You know, I've learned a lot. I really, you know, if you look at me 2010 and me 2020, granted, I'm 52 years old. I was 42 years old 10 years ago, but
that
my
jet black
maturity
hair.
level as a person, my maturity level as a person has changed. It's unrecognizable. My thought process of where I was in 2010 before Black Friday and where I am today as a person. It's unfortunate.
Oh, don't get me started on Black Friday.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. As a person, you know, I mean, like, dealing with the pain and what I've dealt with has made me a much better person today. I appreciate everything in life so much better. It sucks I had to hit rock bottom and lose everything because of my injury and because of Black Friday, but honest to God, it's made me.
Yeah, but you know what though? You're such a good poker player. You're just going to make it all back again. Most people can't do that, but you can because you have the skill set.
Yeah, and like I said, even on the tribute with Mike last week, you know, and it was very emotional. It's like there was many a weeks that I wanted to give up. You know, I can't. It's tough for me to say that publicly, but I can't tell you how many times I thought of killing myself. The pain was so bad, and the fact that I couldn't work, and that everything was, when your bills were $20,000 a month. You know, I got them down to like $6,000 now, but when they were $25,000 a month for like 15 months straight, and you can't work and you can't make money, and you know, everything starts spiraling downwards, and then you start to panic, then you're not playing well, and it just goes spiral. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah, but you know what though? You're one of the biggest name poker players in the world. You're going to make it back. I want to see you in more high limit games though, for sure. I want to see you play for that. What's that game they play for that purple jacket or whatever it's called?
Yeah,
the high roller bowl.
There's 18 Poker Go filmings coming up here in the month of October, including I think 6 or 7 high stakes poker. There's all kinds of different things, grudge matches, head up matches. So you're going to know all about it. That's going to be on Poker Go. I'll be on a lot of the high stakes poker shows. So look forward to seeing me on that. Anyways,
I love that classic hand with you and Daniel where you won. It had to be $1 million pot when you flopped the kings full and Daniel had the 3-9. I couldn't believe it.
I think it was 392,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Anyways,
I got another caller. I got to go. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Take care. All right. All right, let's see who else we got coming in. Do we miss a call? Call them back. Danny boy, oh Danny boy, we need to call our callers. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. Oh, we're calling somebody. That's good. I can barely hear the voice. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. What's going on?
Oh, hey, Mike. Wow. All right, cool. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Yeah, what we'll do is we have callers that call in, and when we're on the line with somebody else, and they're not able to get through, we call them back.
I just saw you get on, and I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to call in. It's been a while since I talked to Mike about that.
Yeah, who's this?
So, hey, man, this is, we talked before. I really don't want, we'll call myself Tim. That's a good name. Tim.
Okay. All right.
We talked politics before, and I just kind of wanted to hear your reaction again to what happened with today, with Trump coming out and admitting he downplayed everything.
I mean, in my opinion, it's just another political hit job. I mean, everybody knew they had to downplay the virus. I mean, they had to downplay the virus. They couldn't have an all-out panic, you know? And it bothers me that people are this stupid.
Was a panic?
What's that?
We have a panic. Like, we literally have riots in the streets right now.
We have riots in the streets because the Democrats are pushing a narrative that police are killing black people, which is not fucking true, okay? They did it in 2016 where 5 officers were slain. Now they've gone full out anti-police, and everybody's out in the streets rioting and looting because, let's get, you have to understand, they're doing it.
So he did cause a panic then.
Yeah, Trump wants to bring the National Guard to these cities, and the governors and mayors won't allow them to.
So how many people have died in the BLM thing? Like 30 people, and like most of them died because of the police. But we have over 180,000 people. So that's like over 50,000, like 40,000, 40,000 Benghazis that happened.
This is not Trump. Do you understand it's a worldwide pandemic? Okay, the entire world has the pandemic.
The global pandemic. That the head of the executive branch, a third of the government, whose job is to be like authoritarian. Authoritarians suck, but during a pandemic, they might be able to be okay. Fascists really suck in pandemics because they don't know what the fuck to do.
Again, that's your opinion.
No, that's why
I believe.
That's why the only thing you did with China and restricting people was to decide to be like, hey, I'm going to restrict foreign nationals, but people from America, I'll bring them back. In the middle of a pandemic when they should have been quarantined where they were until they were clean, not like let them all back right now. In the middle of a pandemic.
You be overseas, and then your country tells you go fuck yourself. You can't come home. See how you like it.
Okay? They didn't say go fuck yourself. They said quarantine for 2 weeks, which they ended up doing anyway.
Everybody that came back was quarantined when they flew back. What are you talking about? Where do you get your info from?
Everybody that came back when Trump did it was quarantined right away for 2 weeks.
Everybody that was flown in from China was quarantined. Yes, they were. Okay, so I don't know where you get your info from. As far as fascists go, everything that I don't want to get in a political argument. Okay,
the whole point was this: is that Trump downplayed it on purpose and people died. Like
they didn't die because he downplayed it on purpose, buddy. Okay, people.
He did it.
Why don't you go look at the CDC? 9,600 people died that didn't have an underlying condition or wasn't over the age of fucking 70 years old. Go look at your information. Don't stop watching CNN, MSNBC. You got no fucking clue. Danny, next caller, please. I don't want to talk politics. Danny, next caller.
Murder
Danny, next caller.
Tomorrow.
Danny, next caller.
I didn't murder them. I couldn't hear you.
Danny, next caller. I'm not dealing with this shit. I don't deal with political fucking morons that fucking just follow CNN and MSNBC, okay? That's what it is. I don't want to talk politics, okay? You guys know nothing. I said on the show in March, I said it on April, Trump has to downplay this virus. He cannot have a widespread panic in the streets, okay? Stop at the 180,000 Americans have died, okay? 170,000 were over the age of fucking 55 or had underlying conditions. Okay, we are in a free country. We're not a communist fucking country. That's why people who do whatever the fuck they want. More people are going to die in this country than any other country. Know nothing about politics. It bothers me.
Yo.
What's up? Welcome to Mouthpiece, man.
Hello.
It's Mike. Welcome to the Mouthpiece.
Hey, Mikey.
What's up? What's up, man?
Not much, bro. My name's Pete.
What's up, Pete?
I good friends with your buddy Danny over there. Helps you out with the show.
Oh, I appreciate you calling, man.
Yeah, I've been a long time fan for you. For probably over 20 years. I actually hooked Danny up with all the names and figures that he needed to know when he got back into your business.
Oh, cool, man.
When he first moved out to Vegas, told him who were the cats that he needed to watch out for and pay attention to.
Yeah.
He's actually helping me out, giving me some insight on my own little podcast. And going to try to get out there to Vegas one of these days and hang out and hopefully meet you and shoot the shit.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. Yeah, definitely. I listen, I try and do all the best I can do. And, That's all. That's pretty much what I can do. I don't like. It's funny, people calling, they want to argue politics with me. I'm not here to argue politics. It's so fucking stupid. People are so dumb. This is a political. We have the next 2 months. It's going to be divide on both sides. Everybody's going to say this about one person, this about the other, and they're going to try and hammer it home and see what sticks. And if you're a Trump supporter, they're going to defend him. If you hate Trump, you're going to come out against them. And then you're going to, but I just don't like when people call on the show and they want to just spew left-wing talking points. Just like if somebody come on the show and they want to spew Fox News talking points. I'm just going to tell them straight out, that's a talking point. Let's move forward. Even when my mother came over last week, she wanted to spew talk left Fox News talking points. I said, Mom, those are Fox News talking points. I said, please. I'm like, the world's not coming to an end if Trump loses the election, and the world's not coming to an end if Biden loses the election. That's all. So stop with the politics. These people are just crazy, man.
Yeah, the thing is, I've told Danny this. I've told all my friends this. I'm a Trump supporter, and the way I look at it is, you can put it two ways: lions or warriors. Let's just put it as lions. Lions don't need to be concerned with the opinions of sheep. In this day and age with this COVID shit and the elections and all the BLM and people don't realize that on the far left, they're not willing to talk unless they're talking to themselves or their peers. And the people on the right, even if you're a moderate, if people on the right, they're willing to talk, debate, or listen.
And that's the problem I have with the people on the left. It's like just like the guy just called me up, and was going all crazy. Trump's a murderer and he's responsible for everybody who died in the United States. I mean, when you say something like that, you have to ask yourself, how stupid do you have to be to think that? Okay, you had a worldwide pandemic. Okay, 40% of the deaths were in New York City. Okay, I mean, the governor put COVID patients in nursing homes. They have like 20-something thousand people died in nursing homes when they knew they were the most vulnerable. I'm not blaming everybody. It's not a blame game. Okay, I mean, Trump went on the record and told people that he underplayed the virus. Of course he underplayed the virus. He had to underplay the virus. He couldn't overplay, because if he did, the panic, you just think you couldn't get toilet paper. People forget. Everything was out of everything. All the grocery stores were empty. People were in a panic, and he downplayed it. Can you imagine if he came out and said, you guys are going to be quarantined for 3 months and you got to stay home? I can't even imagine if there would be anything left in this country. So when people say shit like that, I just look at them and I say, dude, stop with the left-wing talking points. Trump didn't murder anybody, okay? Trump did what it's actually, I don't think he's that good a leader. But as of this, with downplaying the virus, stop the panic, was one of the only times he ever did lead the country as a leader. Now, he's done a lot of great things, but I mean, as an actual leader, you know what I'm saying? Downplaying the virus was the right thing to do. I said it before I've saying it for months. So people act like this is some new revelation. I mean, of course he had to downplay the virus. These people are so stupid.
The thing is that whether you love Trump or hate Trump, he's the boss of the country, and we need to rely on him to protect us and make decisions in our best interest. So on your point of downplaying it, whether he did or didn't, to have panic mode come in is, first of all, completely, unheard of. You don't want people to panic. And then the unfortunate thing is these police situations that is causing more upheaval, which I believe is part of the plan of the left to,
of course it is,
have a dire need to pinpoint and to figure out what exactly it is that they can do to make Trump look bad. My biggest thing with Trump is I don't like him, on Twitter all the time and shit like that.
Neither do I. There's so many things I hate Trump as Trump the person. Okay, there's so many things. People think I'm this big Trump supporter. No, I support Trump. I support him because of his policies. I think with the left's policies they are pushing it will destroy America. Okay, I really believe that. Okay, that's the thing is,
of course,
is before you go out and just want to just bash Trump, blah, 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 blah. He's just he's not a leader. He's an awful human being. Fine. You could go with all that. I could agree with a lot of things. Okay. Go look at the policies the left is pushing that you're going to be voting for before you vote. Okay.
Right.
Policies that will literally destroy this country. Okay. I mean, you can't come out and say 11 million undocumented, I'm going to give citizenship for. Okay. Yeah, they want to give citizenship for it so they can steal every election. The same reason why they want voting, mail-in voting. Okay, listen, 230 people died in the United States yesterday from COVID. That's out of there's like 8,000 people a day that die in the United States. Okay, they don't. But are they mentioning all those names everywhere on TV? No, because it doesn't politically fit their narrative. Same with BLM. Okay, look at all the young kids. Another 6-year-old, another 7-year-old were killed this week in Chicago. Another 4-year-old in New York. Nowhere on TV. They don't care about those black lives. Okay, the cop, 29 years old with 3 kids, black police officer, shot and murdered. Where's his black life? His doesn't count. Okay, so it's a Marxist movement that is politically motivated to try and destroy this country. And I'm not going to stand behind it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's it.
I'm 100% behind you, brother. And
it's the same reason why I refuse to watch the NBA. Okay, I'm going to burn all my Lakers shit. I hope fucking the Lakers lose. I just don't want anything to do. If I want to watch politics, like somebody said the other day, my friend owns floor seats, the Milwaukee Bucks. They were down 2-0 in the series. I said, "How are you?" I was depressed about the Bucks. You know what he told me? Fuck the Bucks. Fuck their floor seats. I'm giving up on their floor seats. If I want to watch politics, I'll turn on CNN or Fox News. I don't want to watch politics in my sports. And I agree. I don't want, especially when they're pushing an agenda. Okay, it's one thing if they're pushing something that will help Black Americans or help Latino Americans or help the United People of America. They're pushing a Marxist agenda based on a lie that police are killing Black people, which is completely untrue. You're 3 times more likely to be struck by lightning and killed than an unarmed Black person killed in America by police. Yet the Biden administration is pushing this lie on America that, Black people don't feel safe walking down the street. They're afraid they're going to get shot by police and killed. Have you seen that commercial? That's disgraceful.
Yes.
Disgraceful.
And the other thing that's starting to gather speed in the domino effect or snowball effect, however you want to look at it, is that I'm seeing more Latinos and more Blacks waking up to the idea and understanding that the Democratic Party promoted slavery, the Democratic Party promoted segregation. Biden especially has said that Blacks want to be segregated. He promoted the bill he promoted the bill that locked up these fathers in these poor Black communities to keep them away from their children and their wife. And there's people in jail right now, still in jail,
of course,
for selling a bag of weed. Okay,
I know.
And now he wants to continue with the Planned Parenthood, all the bullshit, and they don't realize. Most people don't realize that the Republicans are the ones that abolish slavery. And
no shit.
To this day, most people aren't really seeing stuff, but there's a huge
there's a big awakening. Okay, the poll. Listen, internal polling. Okay, the election's over. Okay, I'm telling you right now, internal polling has Trump way ahead everywhere. It's why Biden came out of the basement. Okay, listen, the Democrats made a tactical error, a very massive one. When the rioting and looting was going on everywhere, and they wouldn't let Trump bring the feds in to take care of it. Okay, they didn't condone it. They endorsed it. Okay, they pushed for more people in the streets. And then the convention, they didn't mention it all. Okay, the RNC convention completely exposed the Democrats, and then they went into damage control. The fucking poll numbers plummeted. Trump was able to spin off COVID, and that's all they're running on. That's all they're only running on COVID. They have nothing else. There is no policies in place that'll help the American people and help poor people become better. There's none. There's just vote for us. We'll make it better. Vote for me. I've been in office the guy's been in office since I was 3 years old, buddy. 3. What's he going to change? Okay, it's elder abuse. He's old. He's senile. He can't read any. He can't answer any questions. Even yesterday, he had to read off a prompter to answer a question. Okay, they're trying to perpetrate the biggest lie in American history to get Trump out of office, and I think it's a disgrace. And Kamala Harris, I think, is the most evil person in the world. Picking her as a running mate was disgusting to me. There's a lot of people on the left I would have voted for. I was a big Andrew Yang fan. I was a big Tulsi Gabbard fan, but listen, this is politics. It's going to get bloody. I told everyone it's going to get bloody. These people are trying to get power. The other team is trying to hold on to power. It is going to be nasty. We are still 2 months away from the election, and look how nasty it is already. You see what I'm saying? Well, so I just tell everybody, lower the temperature because I mean, we could literally have a civil war if they don't lower the temp. The anti-police rhetoric is what could cause a civil war. When one party is coming out and demonizing the police on a false narrative, that's very dangerous, slippery slope. So, anyways,
and
I appreciate
all the Antifa and all the Chap and Chaz. They want to defund police. They want to defund government and all this shit. And then as soon as somebody like yourself or myself or anybody,
they say, please call the police. Yeah.
The first thing they want to do is call the cops after they feel threatened.
Because they're trying to push a Marxist political agenda, man.
Yeah, Marxism, communism, and socialism does not work. It's never worked in any country, and that's why our country is the best it's ever been. And we're the youngest country in the world, period. But we are who we are, and I think that your political view, and I think that the way you maintain your thought is the way you play poker. Since you're a poker player, you're analytic. You look at every option, every situation, and when you think that way, that's being objective and logic.
It's called free thinking. It's called free thinking, not group think. That's what it's called. Everybody on the Democrat Party, it's all group think. They go to MSNBC, CNN, and then they regurgitate it as facts out loud. They don't think for themselves. They don't do reading. Right. They don't say, well, this happened or this happened. That they don't think for themselves. That's why I have two very good friends. I have three very good friends on the political left. And I have one who's on the far left, okay, who truly hates Trump's guts. Yet we talk for an hour a day about politics, right? And she'll admit that Trump's did this well, and he's been good in this spot, but he's done this, and this is why I can't vote for him, right? But we'll debate situations. But it's people sheep that want to call in, like the last caller. Trump's a murderer. He's responsible for 180,000 deaths. I mean, just when you have somebody just speak like that, you ask yourself, how could people be this stupid? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
even Daniel today, we're getting into it. He's like, Trump's a murderer. Trump's a murderer. I'm like, Daniel, relax, dude. Do think what you're saying, okay? Is every other leader a murderer? I mean, what 100? What they don't understand is if you take every place in Europe, okay, all the places in Europe, there has been 20,000 more deaths total in Europe, and the population of 20,000 less people combined. But they don't tell you that. They wanted to say, we lead the world in deaths. But it's not that. They're framing it that way for political purposes. They are literally weaponizing a virus instead of trying to help people get better and bring it together. And it's disgraceful. And that's just my thoughts on it. Anyways.
Yeah.
Listen.
I believe that what you said, that you're more likely to get struck by lightning than die from whatever.
It's facts.
Same thing as, getting hit by. I'm more worried about getting in a car accident and losing my family than I am about COVID. I don't.
There you go. Do you know that that when you leave your house, it's 1 in 111 that you die in a car accident when you leave your house. Do you know what the odds of dying from COVID are? Like what? 1 in a million? I think it is.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to stop with the fear mongering over COVID. It's just ridiculous. Go live your life, man. It's a joke.
And they're not factoring in how many people are dying in car accidents, how many people are dying just from the regular flu. I got sick. I got pretty sick in December, and after after what was going on, I realized that I probably maybe had it, but never got tested for it. I don't wear a mask, dude. A mask is a muzzle,
I agree.
unless I have to. And
if I go out in a public setting, I have a, I have my little pink mask that goes around my head and seals it to my face. But no, I think it's all about politics. It's disgraceful.
More callers, Mikey.
Yeah, we got to go. I got a bunch of callers. I appreciate you calling in and take care. Stay safe.
All right,
okay.
buddy. Hope to see you soon, bud.
You got it, my man. Take care.
Later.
All right. I didn't want this to be a political discussion today. I wanted it to be more about Mike Sexton. We still are going to have Richie Scalaron, Mike Sexton's best friend, on right after we're done with phone call segments. And I just don't want it to be a political discussion today. I was hoping it wouldn't be, but it's going to get ugly. And I'm not gonna fall for the media lies that 180,000 people died. It's Trump's fault. I mean, they've been blaming the whole virus on Trump, but it's all over the world. Instead of blaming it the source, which is China, who let it come and spread throughout the world when they didn't let plane travel anywhere outside of Wuhan. Anyway, who's our next caller? Let's go. Alec Kessler wants to be on. Let's call him. You just tried to call me. We're calling you, buddy. We're calling you. Oh my God. Danny doesn't have his number. Hold on a second. So we're going to have Alan Kessler on next, and we're going to take some more phone calls. Alan wants to come on. So we got another call. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. It's Mike.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I was just watching the World Poker Tour on YouTube.
Okay, great. What were you watching?
I was watching the Bay 101 shootout, where the final table was Mike Mattisau and the great Mike Sexton.
Yeah, that was the only pot I won that tournament, was when I knocked Mike out. I miraculously finished third in that tournament without winning one pot. And it was pretty amazing. So the only pot I won was when I took, I think it was King Jack against Mike's King Queen, and I hit a Jack to knock him out sixth. Mike was really pulling for me afterwards. I never won if you go and look at that final table, it's pretty amazing. I never won one pot. I was down to like 300,000 when King Vivid had 4-point-something million and this other guy had 4-point-something million. And they were like, raise, re-raise, re-raise, raise, re-raise, re-raise. Every hand it went, raise, 3-bet, 4-bet, raise, 3-bet, 4-bet. Right? And I'm in the blind, and I'm just looking to pick up fucking basically any ace, any ace paint or any pair. I might even fucking 5-bet a King Queen the way they were playing. I never saw two paints. I never saw a pair, and I never saw anything, yet found a way to finish third with no chips. I switched gears after just folding for hours, in which I just went, every time he opened the button, I moved in, got myself up to 2 million. Finally, I moved in with the 7 deuce offsuit. I think I went to the well one too many times. He had King Queen. He flopped the queen, and I flopped a pair. And then they put 3 diamonds on the board, and I think I had the 7 of diamonds. So I could have hit a deuce 7 or diamond. That would have been, if I would have won that one, then I would have been back in the tournament. But for finishing third there, that was a miracle for me. But yeah, it was a pleasure to play with Mike, and he's going to be very missed.
Do you still have that shirt that he signed?
And that is a great question. So I do. I don't know where it is. I was looking through my closet yesterday, trying to find it. And I'm pretty sure it is in when I moved into this the house that I'm in, the rental that I'm in now, that it's packed away somewhere, because basically I kind of just got the clothes that I wear every day that I put in. So I was looking for it yesterday, and I think that it's going to be a great shirt that'll go into the Hall of Fame, and I will probably donate it somewhere because it's something that when I do get put into the Hall of Fame, that I will definitely bring with me during my Hall of Fame speech. But it is around somewhere. I just have to find it. I was looking for it last night. I'm like, where the fuck is it? It's so funny. You brought up that shirt. So
well, another thing is, how good was it having Philly sit in the audience while watching you play on that final table? How much of an enjoyment was that? I mean,
Phil always pulled for me. He was always there for me. I've always been there for him. I'm not gonna lie. That finishing third that tournament was disappointing because I just never got a card. And I mean, and people, if they think I'm lying, if they go and look at that final table, right? And it'll be, now after Mike's passing and stuff, and they'll look at that. They'll look at that final table, and they'll say, "Wow, Mike ain't lying." I mean, I literally never had a decision. It was raised 3-bet, 4-bet. And all I saw was 7-3 offsuit Jack. I must have saw Jack deuce at least 6 times. I never had 2 paints. I mean, I never even had 10 Jack, Jack Queen, King Jack, Ace 8. I never had nothing. So when you look at that final table, yeah, it was a very big disappointment to finish third. But it was also a major accomplishment to finish third because. I mean, I just was so card dead. I mean, King Vivek had 4.2 million. I had like 280,000. He finished fourth. So, that moved me up about 100,000 in money. So I was proud of myself for that tournament. But yeah, I'm gonna find that shirt. I know before I moved, it was on my shelf, in my closet, and I looked at it. We're laughing. I remember because I was like, so it's definitely around somewhere. I just need to find it. So.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate all your time, Mike. Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. All right. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was a good call, man. So now we are going to call Alan Kessler. He wants to call on the show. And then we're going to take a couple more fucking phone calls. And then Richie Scalaron is going to come on. And he is going to give a lot of stories about his best friend, Mike. And I know how upset he is to lose Mike. He's got a lot more stories than I got. So Chainsaw is on his way. Computer, are you calling Mr. Chainsaw? That was really nice. It was so funny. I was looking for that shirt yesterday. I was going to put it on and wear it on the Mouthpiece today. What's up? Alan,
Still
are you there?
don't have the number.
What's that?
Still don't have the number.
What do you mean? I texted it to you, you fucking idiot.
What?
Hello?
Yes, Mike Richie.
Try again.
Richie. What's going on, Richie? Hey. How's it going, Richie? Hold on a second. We're gonna take one more phone call.
Go ahead.
Richie is on.
Okay, take your time. I'm sweating the baseball.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know what you want me to do here, buddy. I sent it to you. I mean, if you can't get your text, here's another text, idiot. I love you, buddy. There you go. There's
Send
Alan's
it again.
number. There it is, buddy. How many times do you want me to send it to you? Oh, I'm sending it to Alan. No wonder why. Okay. Duh. I sent Alan's number to him. How stupid am I? It's my fault. Sorry, computer. Computer, that was my fault.
Now who's the idiot?
I'm the idiot. Okay. I literally sent Alan Kessler's number to Alan, and I texted it to Alan instead of to you. Wow. I am the worst. I am the idiot. Computer, I apologize. Computer. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Man, I told you it's been a tough day for me, man.
It's cool.
Trying to stop the wildfire in
Welcome to the Mouthpiece. Chain Style. Alan Kessler, what's going on?
I wanted to make sure you knew about this World Series of Poker Tournament of Champions thing that's happening on the 13th.
Yeah, I saw you post it, and you said I saw the tweet that said, "Is Mike Matasso invited?" And I was like, I didn't even know about it. So now that I know about,
you're on the eligible list. There's only a select group of people that are even allowed to play in this, and it's a 10,000 buy-in, but then some people get in for free.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
am I on the list of? Let me ask you something. Am I on the list for free, or am I on the list for 10K? I mean, I'm going to probably play for either way, but if I'm on the list for free, that's better. If I'm on the list for 10K, well, I'll just have to.
Yeah, you're on the list to buy in. You're not on the free list.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'll just have to buy in then. That's what. That's.
I told Daniel about it yesterday, and he immediately posted, without giving me credit, that he's playing it.
Yeah. Oh, Daniel?
He had no idea about it. It's a Bracelet event.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely going to play it. Yeah. I had no idea about it. So, no, I'm definitely going to play it. That's, what's today, the 8th? So that's 5 days from now. I'll probably sell half of myself.
Yeah, but I think you may have missed the deadline to let them know you were playing it. But I'm sure you can call Jack or call somebody.
Yeah, I'll give Jack a call today. I didn't even know about it, until I saw your tweet yesterday. So I appreciate you telling me about it. So how you been, my friend?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. What have you been doing?
Are you on the radio show now?
Yeah, we're on the podcast right now, man. So
I didn't even know you were doing that now. I was really worried that you were going to miss out on this thing. So that's why I was calling you. Because I wanted
okay. No, I'm doing a podcast right now where we're talking life, the world, sports, politics, all the normal bullshit, and
Hillary.
My man Richie Scalaron is going to come on. He's gonna talk. He wants to talk some stories
about Mike.
Yeah, he's going to talk some good stories about Mike. So I'm having him on as our guest.
You know what the really crazy thing about the whole situation is? If you think about it, Mike was just on Poker After Dark. I played with him at Baha Mar in last November or December. And it's just amazing how fast that disease can attack somebody. And it really has me thinking.
I didn't know about it. According to everybody, he's been battling it for 4 years. He kept it very quiet from everyone. And it became terminal around 3 or 4 months ago.
He seemed perfectly fine when I saw him last November at the Baha Mar. He didn't seem like there was anything wrong with him.
Well, there wasn't. They thought they had the cancer under control, and I guess Richie's going to come on here in a little bit, and he knows more about it. He'll kind of give you the idea of what Mike really went through in the last 4 months of his life. So
the thing it must have just gotten really it must have just really spread very quickly over the last several months, because he just seemed perfectly fine. If you watch that Poker After Dark episode he did a few months ago, he seemed perfectly healthy.
Yeah,
it's just really scary to think about.
It sucks, man. That's part of life, man. And that's why I tell people, even when I've been through my injuries and stuff, and everybody whines and cries about poker, and I run so bad, and I this so bad, and life is precious, man. I learned this the hard way. You got to take every day like it's your last day. You got to treat others the way you want to be treated, and you've got to appreciate every day you wake up. I've told my brother this when he was struggling with his mental problems, and I've struggled too, as you know, is, go outside, look up in the air, look at the sky, look how beautiful the world is, and appreciate life. You don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to drive to a store tomorrow and get hit by a car and die, So live every day like it's your last day on earth. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And don't let politics control your life, man. Just try and
really
just be upbeat, So many people,
it really made me think about things, because, I just take things for granted. I haven't really, I've been, even though, I'm not really that successful at poker lately, but I've been successful in life because I really haven't worked or had a job in 25 years. So I should really appreciate that more than I do.
Yeah, you should appreciate it. And I listen, I have discussions. Me and Phil Hellmuth, we talk about 4 days a week, at least an hour or two on the phone. And you know how Phil is. He likes to talk, a lot about himself
speaking
and
of
success. And I tell Phil all the time, I'm like, dude,
on that list.
Yeah, just think.
Make sure you tell Phil Hellmuth about that event, because I think he's also on the list.
Yeah, I will. How good we have it. You know what I'm saying? How good and precious life is. A lot of people, they have to, especially with COVID and shit, people are struggling to eat. People are struggling to survive. People are struggling to put food on the table. We have life good, and you need to understand. You have to say, like you said, don't take it for granted, man. Live every day like it's your last day on the earth. And I promise you, things, you'll be a lot more happier. You won't let yourself be depressed. And, I guarantee you Mike lived his life like that. And, we're going to have Richie on here as soon as we're off the call with you. And
yeah, I just wanted to, that was the main reason I called you, to make sure you knew about that event. And
I appreciate
also
it,
let Phil
Alan.
Hellmuth know, I guess. But
you got it. Alan, God bless you, man. And I'll keep in touch with you, and take care, my friend.
Message me back if you got in. I'm curious if you can still get in, because they said it closed yesterday, but I think they're still going to take people.
Yeah, I'll see it. If listen, if I don't get in, it's not the end of the world, but it'll be pretty cool because I'll be able to stream it on my channel, so it'll be pretty cool. All right, Alan, take care, my friend.
All right, thanks a lot for having me on.
You got it. All right, we got a lot of calls we missed, and that's okay. But I want to, it's been already a long time. What we're going to do is I'm going to bring right now one of Mike Sexton's best friends in life before he passed away. He was like the person who originally I was talking to when Mike was sick, and he's been with Mike. He's been at his side in his last days. He's a little bit crazy. You guys know him. And my man, Richie Scalaron. Richie! What's up, my man?
I'm crazy, right?
You are a little crazy,
How's my hat?
Your hat's crazy. Wait a
minute. How's my tablecloth? Hold on.
Let's see your tablecloth. Hold on. Yeah. My man Richie's a big Trump supporter. All right, before we get into politics, I know you like to talk politics.
No, forget about politics.
Let's get away from let's talk about Mike. You were aware of Mike, how sick he was about 4 months ago, and his
way before that.
Way before that. Now, why don't you let all the poker world kind of like in the timeline of when Mike got sick, when it became obvious that he was going to be in trouble and not going to make it, and a lot of stories, a lot of things you guys talked about, and a lot of old things that you guys did together. Why don't you go ahead and
all right. So about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3, right in that area, Mike told me that he had they found prostate cancer, and they checked his PSA, and his level was extremely high, because I had it in 2008, and my level was 3.5. It was brand new, and I had prostate surgery.
Right.
So mine was brand new, and I had never had a problem since.
Gotcha.
Mike, when I asked him what his PSA number was before he had prostate surgery, just about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, he said his PSA number was 22. Now, I've never heard of anything like that. And I said, that can't be right, 22. It can't be that bad. And that's what he said it was. So he had robotic prostate surgery roughly 2.5 years ago. And he was doing fine.
Okay.
And he was doing fine. And they weren't sure if any leaked out of the prostate before the surgery, but I, by knowing what I went through, hearing the number 22 on your PSA test, which reminds me, everybody go get a blood test twice a year and make sure you check your PSA level. It's that simple to stay safe.
Absolutely.
And Mike, you know that.
Yeah.
So I was worried when he told me 22, and I said, make sure you keep going in every month or two and have them check your PSA level. And it was okay. It was okay. And about 6 months ago, I could start seeing a little change in Mike. He was moving slower. He was walking slower. He looked a little more pale.
Was he telling you that he was going? Was he still going for those monthly tests?
Yes. And then he got some special. About 4 months ago, he got some special blood circulation. I'm not even sure what it is. He had to go in there for 4 hours, 2 or 3 different times, and they took the blood out of one arm and recirculated it back in the other. And we were both saying that the doctors didn't seem knowledgeable enough. So I called Billy Walters, and Billy Walters got Mike into scripts the next day.
You brought that up. So is Billy out of jail now?
Yeah, Billy's on home confinement out of jail now.
Somebody asked me about that, and I thought they had let so many people out with the COVID started. And I was thinking to myself that he probably got out. And somebody asked me, is Billy Walters out of jail? I said, you know what? I could probably find out I could probably get a hold of Billy Baxter and find out. And I'm glad you actually brought that up.
Yeah, he's out, and he spent 3 years in jail, though.
Yeah, don't worry. For $400 million for 3 years in jail, I think I might for $400 million. I'm not going to lie.
But the Southern District of New York and Preet Baraha, the same one that robbed Ilya out of $5 million, robbed Billy out of his money and his time also.
Well, he's a very corrupt prosecutor. It's why our man Trump got rid of him on day one.
Yeah, and he refused to quit. And Trump said, that? "You're fired."
He's very corrupt prosecutor. I used to blast him on Twitter every time he sent out a tweet. I'd send out a blast. You camera-loving, abusive power punk. He's really bad. I got barred from Twitter. It's pretty funny. It's sad. I believe it because people in power. I mean, if you discourage people I'm not afraid of him. He's a punk, lying filth, is what he is. Well, let's move forward off of him. So you called Billy Walters and let's go back to that story. I called Billy and told Billy Mike's doing real bad and the doctors here I don't think are good enough and they're not getting in touch with him enough and they're putting him through procedures that don't seem right to me. So I called Billy and Billy got him in scripts in San Diego the next day. Okay. So he went down there and they did all kinds of tests immediately and Mike was much happier with the doctors down there. Then he came back but he started deteriorating every day. And what did the doctors say? Every day. Now, what did they say 6 months ago? What was the prognosis today? They did a blood test and he's supposed to have no PSA level because he had his prostate out. Okay. But the PSA level showed about 6 months ago 1.0, which it should show 0. Okay. And then a month later showed 2.0, and a couple months ago 4.0. And 4.0, when he's supposed to have 0, is not good. So the PSA, the cancer from the prostate that leaked, started spreading. Gotcha. Now, just 5 weeks ago, even though Mike was tired all the time and lost weight and weak, he was still capable of driving his car, and we met for dinner just 5 weeks ago. But then it exploded bad. Yeah. It exploded bad. Yeah. He sat in his chair in front of the TV for about a week, and then they got him a hospital bed, and then he laid there and watched the TV, but his mind was always working. Yeah. To 1 hour before he passed away. Yeah. To 1 hour before he went to sleep. When I felt, after talking with Linda, and she had told me that he didn't want it to get out to anybody, and I guess somebody that wasn't supposed to say anything tweeted out how sick he was, and that's how the poker world kind of found out about it. And we look back at it now, and we're glad that it did get out because we were able to put together that tribute. Well, that was your idea. Yeah. And remember, I was at his house sitting next to him when you texted me and asked me, what do I think? And I
I said, I think it's great. Do it.
Right.
And then I asked Mike. I just said, do it to you. But then I said, Mike Madison is going to talk about you and have a lot of people on Zoom on a podcast. And he said to me, what do you think? I said, I think it's great. And he said, if you think it's great, then do it.
Yeah. And
so
like
I was happy to say.
We really didn't know what to expect. You know, I put together the little video and I had Lizzie, you know, text everybody she knows in her contact book. And it ended up being just amazing. And you know, I don't want I get emotional about it. I know we both get emotional. We think about it because it's still very fresh. Sending me those pictures, which I'm not. They told me not to send out, and I'll never send out. But watching Mike with his son and his family, watching me on that TV while he's in bed, while everybody is sending their love and support for him, is kind of an image that sticks with me forever. I was never as close to Mike as you, but he helped me through problems. Mike was always somebody that could talk to, and he'll give you, you know, his thoughts. And I mean, I honestly, there are at least 3 times where I thought about giving up, man. I mean, to go through what I went through and the injury and losing everything and you know, I didn't know if I could make it back, and I made it back, and I'm back, and I'm on my feet, and I still.
Mike's very positive. Mike was always positive. Mike could lose 19 games in a row gambling, and he'd be sweating the 20th one as hard as the other losers.
The one thing about Mike, he was a sick fuck. He's truly, as great as an ambassador for poker, as great as a person he is, he was truly one of the sickest sports bettors that ever walked.
You have no idea.
And I don't even have any idea. Right?
I have no idea.
So I mean, let's throw in a couple of Mike Sexton sports betting stories, some golf stories for the public that only knew Mike, the announcer of WPT, or Mike, the great guy that he was. I mean, throw in some fun stories for everybody to hear.
I'll tell you, well, I have so many of them. When you're together talking 5 times a day for 15 years every day, maybe I missed 5 days in the 15 years.
Right.
He'd call me and say, what do we need today? I'd call him and say, what do you need? He'd say, where are we eating? Should I bring? He loved to say the Colonel instead of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He loved to use the word the Colonel. He'd say, how about I bring over the Colonel tonight and we'll sweat the games. So here's one game. A lot of times I would have a game and he'd see the score like 21-0 in the first quarter. But meanwhile, they were laying like 11.5 or 12 points or 14 points, for instance. And when he'd see 21-0, he'd text me a bunch of these hand clapping things and money bags, and the game just started. I'd go crazy when he did that.
And then they'd end up losing, right? Not covering.
Not every time, but when he sees 21-0 in the first quarter, he thinks the game's over.
Yeah.
So he did that a lot. That was fun.
When I was in sick mode, I would do the same thing. But I would do the opposite. If I was down, right, like 14, and I was laying 6.5, I'd think the game was over, and then I'd make a halftime bet on something I'd have no interest in. I'd lose the halftime bet. The team that I had the money, I would come back and win, and then I'd be so tilted that I had the winner, but tilted off at halftime that I'd bet double on another game that I had no interest in. I mean, I did that a million times.
So now there's another. We're over at Bellagio, outside the poker room. Thor Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
Thor Hansen, passed away from cancer. What, about 4 years ago?
Yeah. 5
years ago.
Yeah.
Me and Mike, and we're standing outside the poker room, and we're about to go eat. And Thor says, "Wait a minute! I got to go make a bet."
So now, sick fuck, man. Another great human being. Thor
So I said, no, Thor, come on, let's go eat. He said, no, come on, just a minute. So we walk with him, we follow him, and he goes to the counter. This is funny. And he bets 5,000 on, I don't know what he bet. Basketball, football, I have no idea.
Thor Hansen never knew what he bet, so it doesn't make a difference.
I can't remember what he bet on. He bet 5,000, and the ticket came out of the machine. He paid the guy, and he folded up the ticket while the guy was counting the money, and he put the ticket in his pocket. He started to walk away, and the ticket seller at Bellagio said, "Hey, don't you want to check your ticket? You didn't check your ticket." And he said, "What's the difference?"
It's the truth. What's the difference?
And Mike agreed with him.
And you know what? I can relate with that because, like, when I was betting sports, I mean, a sick sports bettor just bets because they just love watching sports and they need the action. So it's like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, I mean, it's like, yeah, what is the difference? It's like, especially when you're like pick as many losers as me and Mike done over our lifetime.
That's hilarious.
You know, I mean, if they would have printed the wrong side of the ticket in my lifetime of what I bet, I couldn't even imagine how many millions I would have had. You know, so that's a pretty.
That's what. Now here's another Thor Hansen and Mike and me. We're at the Rio. Thor just won $1 million tournament. This is way back, and Mike put him in, and they split it. And now we're in the hallway at the Rio, and some reporter comes up to Thor with the microphone and wants to interview him. Thor said, "Sure," and the girl says, "So Thor, what are you going to do with that $1 million you just won?" And me and Mike are laughing.
This is the greatest answer. I'll never forget it.
You remember it?
I did. He said, "Well, I'm going to pay." He goes,
well, no,
exact words.
Let's not wreck it.
He says, "I'm going to pay everybody I owe."
No, that's not wreck it.
They go, "What are you going to do with the rest?" He goes, "Well, the rest of them are going to have to wait."
That's it. Yeah. He says, "I'm going to pay a few debts." And she says, "What are you going to do with the rest of it?" He says, "They'll have to wait."
Exactly.
Well, I fell on the floor laughing. It was unbelievably funny.
Thor Hansen, I'd like to see him in the Hall of Fame one day. And, maybe when I do get in the Hall of Fame, it'll be in the same year with Thor Hansen. We were really close. Thor was, he was something, boy. Another guy with a positive outlook. They gave him 6 months to live. He lived another, 7 years?
Thor?
Cancer? Yeah. He went to Denmark.
I think like 3 to 4 more years after.
After they gave him 3 months to live.
Yeah.
He went for the special treatment in Denmark. And so it was good to see.
It was good. He did good.
Yeah.
He fought hard. He did good.
Now,
so here's another good golf story.
Yeah.
This is January of 2006. Wait a second here. Did I lose you? There we go. January of 2006. I came to town and to either caddy for Mike or play with him as a partner or myself. It all depended what games. Everybody was playing. Doyle, Phil Ivey, Eric Lindgren, Dewey, Bobby Baldwin, that whole crew, and playing very high money every day because everybody, including you, owned part of the poker sites then. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of money around, and Negrano, everybody wanted to play.
A lot of money going around in 2006, 2007.
Everybody wanted to play golf. So now, the second day I'm here.
They never got me at the golf course, Richie. They never got me on the golf course. They tried. They never did.
You would have got broke faster.
I got broke faster. Absolutely.
Yeah. So now it's the second day I'm here. We have no golf game the first day. The second day I'm here, Mike makes a golf match with Phil Ivey and a friend of Phil's named Matt against me and Mike. Best ball at Shadow Creek. Mm-hmm. Now, I told Mike, I said, "Mike, this is in his book. He put this story in his book. I'm not going to play that hard. I just want to win a little because Phil Ivey's got a lot of money and I want to keep him around." So
what's amazing is they used to hustle Phil Ivey, and they got him. And what did he do? He hired a pro to teach him how to play, and then he went and hustled everyone back.
Don't worry. He got it all back and then some.
Absolutely. And I'll never forget the guy from London couldn't wait to run and go play him golf. He's like, he thought he had the nuts with him, and then he beat him 1.2 million, and then it took him 6 years to pay him like half.
Yeah, he was whining that Phil hustled him when Phil already lost to him.
But it's okay for them to have hustled him. I'll never forget
that guy was out of line.
He was way out of line.
Yeah. So so we have a match the second day at Shadow Creek, and Mike and Phil are on the front tees, and Mike's about a 92 shooter from these tees, and Phil's shooting 105. Right. He's like a 105 shooter then. And I'm playing this from the back tees, and I'm about one and a half a side better than the other guy. So I'm saying, wow, I'm just going to play easy and win a little. I want to keep Phil around. Well, Mike, I'm warming up on the driving range, and Mike comes up to me and says, you're going to have to change your ideas because we're playing for a little bit more money today.
And how much was that little bit more?
I said, well, I thought we were playing 5,000 Nassau, which is 5,000 for the first 9, second 9 total, and 1 press aside. So if you get scooped, you lose 5 bets is 25,000.
Right.
He said, we're playing for a little more. I said, how much? He said, 40,000 every hole.
Oh my God.
Every hole.
And how'd you end up?
Well, the first hole, I hit that shadow. I hit a big drive down the middle with a little draw, and the hole goes left. I hit a wedge in the leather about a foot and a half away for birdie. We're 40,000 5 minutes after we teed off. We're 40,000 winner. Now the next hole, I hit a big drive again, but I pulled my second shot just left to the green with a wedge, and I was motherfuckering myself. I hit such a bad shot, I came over the top. Now I have this impossible shot to the hole and the big break, about a 20-foot break. And I'm praying to God I can just putt it down this embankment and get it within 10 feet to maybe have a chance to make par, because Phil is 15 feet away into putting for birdie.
Right.
So now I'm looking, and I putt it from this downhill and way up high to the left. And now it starts going to the right and going downhill and tracking towards the hole. And it goes in from about 70 feet. And
I think I heard this story back then. Yeah, it was
well, and then Mike yells out the biggest music to my ears I ever heard in my life. Remember, he just got 30 million from Party Poker.
Right.
And when a guy, wait a second, Mike.
Got you.
When the guy that's backing you has $30 million and yells out, "That's my man," that's a good sign.
Yeah, no shit, man. No shit.
So,
you know,
that's just one of many, many hundreds of stories, but that was a fun one.
Yeah. So, you know, we know that Mike, you know, so many great stories, you know, that's a really good to hear. And we could probably be on this thing all night. You have so many Mike Sexton stories that is in for the poker world and for so many people to hear. But, you know, I know what a good person Mike was. I know how hard it was having you on. I know last week, I know you're still a little bit hurt. It's going to be hard for you and stuff. A lot of people have been texting and private DMing me about if they're going to do any type of memorial service for Mike. I know during COVID, you know, you can't have that many people at a funeral. Are they going to do some kind of memorial service, or is it going to be possibly after the pandemic?
All right, I'll tell you. I'm in touch with Matt Savage.
Right.
World Poker Tour is handling it. They're going to put it together in somehow, some way. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm sure soon.
Right.
But because of COVID in Nevada, you can't have more than 50 people, I think.
I had 6 at my dad's funeral, so I know.
Had how many?
6.
6.
They wouldn't allow more than 10 at the time. So it was really fucked up. So
yeah. But I made a suggestion to Matt. I know where Mike would love the service.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the golf course, right on the grass of the golf course.
No,
any golf course he played. And you're outside, so you can have more people.
That's true. I mean, you could definitely have more. It's more
than the 50 that they're allowing.
Well, they've already got. There's proof that the COVID spreads like 60 times more inside than it does outside, and that's pretty obvious by what's going on in the world.
So World Poker Tour and Matt are deciding, and they're going to let me know and ask me if I have any ideas after, which I really don't. I don't even know if I'll have the strength to even talk there. I might just write something, and if I don't feel good enough to talk, I'll let Matt read it.
No, listen, it's the thing that hurt me so much when I heard that Mike was sick, and why I wanted to have the tribute and stuff, is because I know how much Mike meant to poker. I mean, there wasn't. I said it on the show last week, and I don't give a shit if anybody wants to argue with me. I mean, nobody that's made money in poker, including when we had the poker boom, the full tip boom, the moneymaker boom, would have never been possible if it wasn't for Mike Sexton's vision. He was ahead of his time, and it's a tremendous loss for the poker world.
Yeah, actually, Mike, let me tell a quick story exactly how that happened. So people really, really know.
Go ahead.
When they started, Mike started with Party Poker. When Ruth came to Mike,
I remember,
and asked him if he wanted to help them with their poker site. They already had an online gaming site.
Mm-hmm. I remember the Party Poker Million. It was Limit Hold'em. The first one, Kathy Liebert won, and the second one, Howard Lederer won. So people didn't even realize that it wasn't No Limit. No Limit didn't become the
No, it was Limit then.
Everything was Limit Hold'em until 2002, pretty much the moneymaker boom, and then it because I remember being on that Party Poker cruise. I remember carrying my laptop on, and we were playing online poker, some No Limit, and I was on Ultimate Bet because Party was just starting, and that's why we were promoting the Party Poker. World Poker Tour, I think, was the first.
I'm going to give you a very quick story on how poker exploded. What Mike did, one thing to make it explode.
Go ahead.
He started working for Party. He was in India for 3 months. He helped them with what they needed on the software. They knew how to build it, and that happened. He was there for 3 months. He came back, and then the World Poker Tour started. Mm-hmm. With Mike and Vince. Now, Party Poker had just started also. Mm-hmm. Mike, they came to Mike 3 months. Party Poker came to Mike 3 months after they started their poker site, mm-hmm. and said they were offered $5 million for their poker site. Mm-hmm. And Mike said these words: "That's the greatest deal I ever heard for the other side."
Yeah, I believe it.
So he talked them out of selling it. Now, right after that, the World Poker Tour started, and they were on the Travel Channel. And Mike had Ruth I remember. And Mike had Ruth, owner of Party Poker, buy advertisement time on the World Poker Tour. And that's when it exploded. Party Poker was doing, I think, 50,000 a week.
No, they were customers. Yeah, they were the biggest. People don't realize, like, before the Unlawful Internet Gaming Act came out in 2006,
which was a scam, political scam.
It was a political scam that these corrupt politicians put underneath a Port Act, a Safe Port Act.
Port terrorist bill.
Yeah, terrorist bill to get rid of because they weren't getting paid their money. That's how, I should have known then how corrupt the politicians were. When I became political in 2015, I really learned how corrupt everyone is.
Me too.
But I mean, we live in. I mean, they say that we're the 16th most corrupt country. Man, I'd like to see what the other 15 are.
No, we're number one.
We got to be the number one most corrupt country because. And that's why we get into to politics a little bit, and I don't really want to touch too much on it. It's like, I mean, Biden's been in office for 49 fucking years. This guy sold out more to China.
47.
Yeah, but since I was 3 years old. I mean, this guy sold out fucking America to China. Okay, that's why when Trump came out and he called the Trump travel ban xenophobic and racist, because he's all on China's side, So listen, they can say what they want about Trump, and yes, he made some mistakes during COVID, but he had to underplay it because of the fact that he couldn't have a worldwide panic. Look, you couldn't get toilet paper, you couldn't get anything to eat. Every supermarket, people forget. Just imagine if we had a full-on panic on hand, what it would have been like. They'd have been killing thousands in the streets, So,
like what you just said is we're supposedly the 16th most corrupt in the world.
I'm with you.
We're number one, and here's how you know. In the United States, when you commit a coup on the president, you go on book tours and TV shows.
Yeah.
In any other country in the world, when you try a coup on the president,
you go to jail.
You're shot dead the next day.
No shit. True.
We're the number one most corrupt. It's ridiculous.
We are beyond corrupt. I don't want to get into politics. We have our own beliefs, and I respect other people's beliefs, and I know you do. We might disagree with them, but I know we respect them, and I think that is the difference between the political left in the country and the political right. The political right listens to people's views on the political left. They respect their views, and they say, I disagree with them, but I respect your views. The political left, they call you murderer, Trump's a murderer, Trump's this, Trump's that. They burn the country down. You're evil, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, and they just and they hate you. Supposedly the Democrats are the party of love, but they hate you because you disagree with them.
Well, Ilhan Omar says horrible things about Jews, and she's still a congresswoman. How is she not impeached immediately?
Agreed, because
I don't understand it.
Because the political left will pander to anybody they can for votes. They don't care who dies. I said it from the get-go. They don't care who dies. They don't care. Look what they're doing to this poor Biden. The guy should be in a old age home, okay, with somebody taking care of him. Instead, he has a chance to become the president of the United States, and he can't put two sentences together. And if anybody wants to debate me on that, they're not watching. That's why they hit him for 6 months. Okay, he's come out. He can't put two sentences together.
He can't even talk.
He can't even talk. There's no way that Biden. I mean, they 150 million people, and they want power so bad. They figured they could run Biden because he was born in Pennsylvania, yet he's hated by everyone in Pennsylvania. They're trying to get Pennsylvania back, and they figured they could ride because Obama's coattail because he was his vice president. They know the internal.
Just wait for September 29th. September 29th is the first debate. The blood will be flowing off the edge of the stage.
Well, that's why they're pushing everybody. Vote now. Early vote now, because they know what the debates are going to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Finish. Let me finish about Mike and the poker boom. I'm almost done with that.
Yeah, let's do that. I don't want to talk about politics much. Let's go.
Party Poker was talking, doing about 50,000 a week when they first started.
Right.
When Mike was done having them advertise, about 6 months or so to a year later, they went from doing 50,000 a month to $3 million a day.
A day. I know.
And that's when poker exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all Mike's idea.
And people don't realize that Party was the number one site by far. They pulled out when the UMICA came, and PokerStars and Full Tilt decided they were going to try and beat the government and stay in the United States.
Well, do you know why they pulled out?
Yeah, because they were on the stock market. They were public.
Right. They were public, so they had to.
Yeah, exactly. And and again, I didn't know nothing about politics at the time, but I do know that PokerStars and Full Tilt paid a lot of money to Harry Reid's re-election campaign, promising them that they would.
Harry Reid?
Yeah, that they would make sure.
He makes he's a bigger thief than 99.9%.
I know. He was the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And
then, by the way, John McCain and him were best buddies, and that's why John McCain gave the dossier to the FBI and started all this nonsense.
Of course, I don't want to get into it, but listen, one thing, we're not going to talk politics. We're going to talk about Mike. We know the truth, and you know what was really great is about the tribute we did is, you know, there was a lot of people on there that are on the far political left that came on the show to give Mike his due and made him feel great.
That was very nice.
I loved
it.
Yeah, we were all able to come together and put the differences aside. And listen, politics, it's like, you know, even like I was talking with Daniel today, he was all up in arms about this video about him but I mean, I knew he underplayed the virus. He had to. I mean, I've been saying it since March that he had to underplay it. So I didn't want to talk about it, but you know what? It's going to get ugly. It's politics. You know, the greatest thing about the thing we did last week is so many people from every part of the political spectrum, poker world, people who just like me, people who just like, you know, whatever, you know, they all came together for Mike. It was a great.
It was so nice what you did and your idea for Mike, and Mike got to hear it. Was so nice.
I know you get emotional of it. You know,
it was so nice.
And I know that you know, I've gotten so many, you know, things of how great a thing it was, and you know, I didn't. Again, I don't want people. I didn't do it for me. You know, I think that, you know, like I just don't. His family sent me a very nice email. You know, and you know, I probably read it out loud. Not today,
his sister Lonnie was there.
And the words basically were everybody. You know, I'll read it one day on the podcast to everybody, but I'm going to do it in a nutshell quickly. Everybody goes to people's funerals and they say nice things about the person. Mike was able to hear from the entire poker world while he was still on this earth.
That was so good.
And he was able to know that he was going to pass away, having that feeling of love from the poker community on his last days. I can't even imagine what it must have meant to him, because like his family said to me, that doesn't happen. People just die and then they go to funerals and they say their nice things. For everybody to have come on and said all those wonderful things about Mike. So many people who don't even like me, people that I haven't talked to in years, that disagree with a lot of things I've done and said, would come on and said how wonderful it was to have done that, and we all came together. We are a small poker community, you know. No matter what anybody says, no matter the hundreds of thousands of people that play poker, there's really a core group of maybe a 1,000 people, you know, that really know Mike on a level, and for so many people, even though that might be high, to come together like that. And I know
he was so courteous to every stranger. Anyone, Jesus, I must have taken, I don't know, 2,000 pictures, maybe more. Because, you know, when we were walking, he was so courteous to everybody. He says, "What's your name? Where are you from?" He got in a conversation with him. Here's the, can you see this magazine here?
Yep.
That's when Card Player did it, when he was put into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And then there's a very special article in that magazine that I sent it to you in case you ever want to read it.
I could read it out loud.
You have it?
I do.
Yeah, read that. It's very short, but it's very beautiful. It's what Mike Sexton is.
Yeah, and it was. Let me get that article real quick. I know you sent it to me. Here it is. Now this is from. Let me make sure I can read this fine. Okay, this is 2006. This is when Mike was put in the Hall of Fame, and this is the article that was written. And I hope everybody doesn't get too emotional about it. But January 18th, 2006, a true gentleman, What a pleasure it is to watch Mike Sexton in public. He talks to every fan who asks for a picture and autograph like they are the celebrity. He thanks them for saying hello, and he thanks them for taking the picture. I have watched this happen well over 100 times, and a smile inside me every time. Mike Sexton is also a loving and caring family man, and as some of us know, he loves to dance and recently took a few days off to go to LA to donate his time and money for the kids' dance competition. Good for you, Mike. When he made his first money from Party Poker, he called his brother Tom, who drove a cab for 12 years, and told him, I love this. Park the cab. I have seen a lot of gamblers over the last 30 years, but none with the class of Mike Sexton. He is smart, very funny, very entertaining, especially on the golf course, and talks to everybody. Never hurries anyone, returns all phone calls, and treats people even nicer than people treat him. Mike Sexton, you are one of the main reasons for the poker boom. Let's all learn to be a little nicer, a little kinder, like Mr. Mike Sexton. Keep up the fantastic work. And that was 2006. And, it's something that
he never changed. Before he had money, and during, and his later years, he never differed from that person.
Never changed. And he was a very private person, with political views, with his life, with when he got sick, he didn't want to hurt the poker world in any way, shape, or form. I respect him a lot for that. You know what I mean? It's one of the best traits he has. I understand that he didn't want people to know how sick he was until the very end. I guess it got leaked out by somebody by accident. But now we can look back and say, I'm glad it got leaked out, because if it didn't, we wouldn't have been able to give him the tribute we gave him last week. So, God bless you, Rich.
It worked out very good that way. That what you did, your idea, when you called me, immediately I knew it was amazing, and you knew it was amazing before you even called me. And
yeah,
I can't thank you. I can't thank you enough for doing that.
As the hour, I told everybody I was not going to get off that phone until Mike either passed out or the last person called. And when I got a text that Mike was fading pretty quick, Mike, I think, was already asleep, but I think when he woke up the next day, he was able to hear James Woods come on there and say the things he said about him, and also Miami John towards the end. But he was able to really hear from everybody, and that is a something special.
He heard it all. I saw him, and he heard it all.
That when we put it together, I didn't know how it would end up. I'll look back at it, and years, and I mean it, years from now, when I'm long gone, people will be able to see that tribute to Mike Sexton and know what he meant to the poker world and how much it meant to him and his family.
It was so nice. Everybody that was on was so nice.
I know, Richie, and I know, a lot of people think you're a little bit nutso, and I do too. But you got a heart of gold, Richie, just like Mike did. And listen, just because you support a different political candidate doesn't mean you're not a good person. You try and treat everybody the best you can. I'm getting a little emotional now too, because I know how much.
Actually, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, Mike. No, I'm an American.
No, I'm not either. I'm not either.
I'm for America.
I believe. Like I said, we're gonna touch just a real quick, because I know me and you get politically charged real easily. It's like I tell people, look between the lines. Don't look at the person or the vessel. Look at the policies put forward, and look how America was founded. If you look how America was founded on Judeo-Christian values, okay, and you watch what they're trying to do, and on the far left, and the indoctrination of these ideologies to destroy this country, of how it was founded. That is why I still support President Trump. And that is how I'm going to end this conversation. Richie, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing those wonderful stories about Mike. stay true to yourself. Stay crazy. Don't grenade all your money. And I love you.
Thanks.
Poker world loves you, even though they know you're a little crazy. But look at me. I'm crazy. Me and you are two of the craziest people in poker.
I'm not that crazy. Don't worry.
Oh, I know you're not. You know, the funny thing is Mike Sexton was as crazy as us, but he kept it to himself. Me and you were a little bit more outspoken about it, and I think that's the difference.
Don't worry. When Mike was alone with me, he spoke plenty about it.
I know he did. And
but he wanted to keep politics out of poker, because that was his livelihood, and I understand that, and everybody understands that.
And unfortunately, I wish I would have, but I just couldn't. When I see people that I respect, that are close friends of mine in the poker world, pushing complete regurgitated bullshit, I had to make a stand, and that's how I got involved in. I'm going to try my hardest to keep politics out of poker.
Not me. I'm keeping it in.
The next 2 months are going to be very bloody on both sides. Both sides are going to just talk about how evil the other person is to get the people out to vote. Listen, everybody in the poker world's got their mind made up. They're not changing. A lot of people. There's so many famous people in the poker world that are big Trump supporters that you don't know about, that I know about, and people know about.
Yeah, they don't want to be bothered, so they don't say anything.
So just as I finish and I end the podcast now, just remember, we're a small group of people. We all love each other. Just because you disagree with people politically doesn't mean they don't have a good heart. I have a good heart. You have a good heart. Mike Sexton had the greatest heart. And let's all move forward and make the poker world a better place. Richie, thanks for joining the Mouthpiece podcast today. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
God bless you. God bless America, and God bless Mike Sexton.
You got it, buddy. God bless Mike Sexton. He's up there watching down on us.
Bye-bye, Mike.
And if he has any say, we're going to be okay come November. Talk to you later, my friend.
Later. Bye, Mike.
Love you. All right. Well, that was Richie Scalaron. Richie Scalaron was Mike's best friend in life. And, getting to have him come on and talk about Mike was wonderful. So that's it. Another episode of the Mouthpiece podcast has come to an end. Tune in next week for our pick of the week. Another special guest, all during the football season. We're going to have a pick of the week. We're going to have Kevin come on, give his pick of the week. We're gonna debate them. And as Mike Sexton would say, may all your cards be live and your pots be monsters. I love you all. Don't let politics just control your life. Let poker be the name and living life happily. I'm out. Take care, you guys. See you next week.